Welcome to the 2019 APTA Nationals, presented locally by PNC, with thanks also to the APTA Nationals official sponsors Viking and Reline. We are live from the Fox Chapel Racket Club in Pittsburgh on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Patty Hogan, bringing you the women's semifinal match between the number 1 seeds of Florentina Hanisch and Annika van Starrenburg, and the number 3 seeds of Liz Cruz and Gabby Niculescu. And Patty, what a match we have here, a rematch of last year's championship finals. And the 2017 winners were Hanisch van Starrenburg, the 2018 winners were Cruz and Niculescu. So can't ask for anything better.
We couldn't ask for a more exciting matchup, Brad. We, in this match, we're going to see Liz Cruz, Trumbull, Connecticut. She's the rackets director over at the Patterson Club in Fairfield, Connecticut, teamed up with Gabby Niculescu, the defending national champions. Gabby teaches over at the Millbrook Club in Connecticut. They're up against number 1 ranked team in the country, national champions Flora Hanisch from Westchester Country Club, where she's a teaching professional, and Annika van Starrenburg from Bedford Corners, New York.
All right, so our players on the court. We have on the bottom right, we have Annika van Starrenburg, and next to her is Gabby Niculescu, so not her partner. All right, so in black with the red paddle or the orange paddle. On the far side is Gabby Niculescu's partner, Liz Cruz, and next to her on the far side to the right, in the visor, is Florentina Hanisch. So, I mean, this matchup.
Oh, Brad, you know, I love it when national champions compete against each other. We have 4 national champions out here, and you know, this is some of the best players in the women's game, and we've seen, Gabby took a year off, had her little baby boy, Dimitri. She's back on the court here, teamed up with Liz Cruz, and they're the defending national champions, and they're taking on the number 1 seeds, and I give them a really good chance, Brad, only because it seems like Van Starrenburg and Hanisch are struggling a little bit on their serving games.
Yeah, but the thing that they do well, Hanisch and Van Starrenburg, is adapt. If they're struggling, they'll just push it in the box and stay back. One of the things that'll be super interesting going forward is Niculescu owns the most fearsome hard overhead in the women's game, other than Annika. And she devastated actually Hanisch last year with that shot in the finals, and Hanisch practiced hard working on chasing down that ball. We're gonna have to see how a lot of these matchups work out. I watched a bunch of Cruz and Niculescu, and I called her match against Manley and Ruoff in the women's round of 16, and we called it, she was making a few errors, but I mean they just.
Brad, real fast. I mean, the greatest players in the game, round of 16. Look at all those great names. We didn't make it out of the round of 16 here. And this is a dream matchup. We have our number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fox Chapel Racket Club for a 2019 American Platform Tennis Association National Women's Semifinal match, featuring to my left from Stamford, Connecticut, Florentina Hanisch, and her partner from Bedford Corners, New York, Annika van Starrenburg. And to my right from Trumbull, Connecticut, Liz Cruz, and her partner from Norwalk, Connecticut, Gabby Niculescu. Niculescu will be serving.
Who won the toss, Brad?
I didn't say, but either way, Niculescu starts us off.
Love.
All right, so we're underway. 15 love. Gabby Niculescu serving.
15 all.
I think we'll see throughout the day a lot of switching of tactics and strategies, staying back. Wow, what a pickup there for Niculescu. Already with the hard overhead. She's 1 for
30,
1 on those.
15.
To keep track of how many of those she hits and how many she gets a winner on.
When she was at the top of the game, when they won, you know, a year ago,
30 all.
we saw Gabby with a killer forehand overhead, killer forehand off the deck.
And a fierce competitor, a great volleyer.
Yeah, one of the best
30,
competitors
40.
on the women's tour.
She serves volleys more than a lot of the women. She mix it up. That's smart.
Game. Hanisch von Starrenburg. They lead 1 game to love. First set.
Yeah, you know, Liz Cruz got beaten on a drop shot there. Good recognition from Van Starrenburg. I think that's a really smart play early on, even though it's 50 degrees. I think Cruz sometimes has a tendency to play a little deeper, kind of defensive-minded, and maybe, you know, she's got to be on the lookout for that. But I love the play early on from Annika. And this is going to be the moment of truth. Annika has really struggled in the last 2 matches on her serve, and I'm really surprised she's serving first for her team, Brad.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I did their last quarterfinal match, and she was really the only one to hold for the entire match. You know,
Love
it
15.
You know, although Hanisch held once at the end, but she held 3 times because they worked it out. They ham and egg, you know, through the game, game battle. He rarely serves the volley with ever. Hanisch did some coaching from time to time, moved targets. So she was pushing it in right now too. And strangely enough, the
15
slower
all.
she hit it, the better they did. Wow, there's Niculescu darting up there at the net. A heck of a lead there by Liz Cruz.
Very brave for the
50,
early going
30.
here on that. That's Van Starrenburg, 2-handed backhand. Kind of her signature shot, her biggest weapon.
Oh, great hold. I think Cruz thought she was going to lob that.
I think she really did. And what you mean by great hold was that she waited to hit that shot really late and kind of. Liz totally thought she was just going to back up for a lob.
30 all.
Wow, what volleying from Cruz there.
Really good
30,
hands.
40.
I like how Cruz just kept her second hand on the paddle, set the face, just absorbed the pace of the ball, volleyed it straight ahead. (4-2) in the other semifinal. Anika and Barron are up 4-2 on Brazova and Shea.
Oh, see, now the difference between Gabby and some of the other players is she'll make a full commitment
Game.
to coming up.
Cruz, Niculescu.
Cut
The
off
score is
that volley
1 game
before Van
apiece.
Starrenburg's ball got below the net. Great shot. We saw this in the last game. It was literally whoever won the first set was the first team to hold serve. And that's going to be the interesting thing here. Oh, wow, what a spotty drive. Perfectly played there by
Love
Hanisch.
15.
We saw that shot a lot from her husband Martin earlier in that big win for Bostrom and Anderson. And Flor loved that corner, did the same shot.
Yeah, that was some match. I mean, so much drama towards the end because the points were so important.
You see the I formation with Van Starrenburg staying up at the net in the middle of the court and Hanisch covering the baseline.
15 all.
It's been fascinating to see the confidence level in Niculescu go up, Brad, with each round in this national championship.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like we said, there's some errors in there in her round of 16, but they played in the last round. Lemery and Robach are 5th seeds here, and they handed it to them. It's like 6-2, 6-1, so they must have played a really high level.
Then we were a real talented team out of Chicago. You know, pretty high seed in this tournament. They just don't play a ton of tournaments any year, and I think that's tough to come up big at nationals. I mean, last year they made the semis, and Lemery got hurt early in the match against Cruz and Niculescu, which was really devastating to them. But they came back. But I just would love to see them play more against all these teams so that you just have more of a comfort zone against the top teams. Liz Cruz in the deuce court. Won a national title with Gabby, playing the deuce court, and won a national title with Anna Brazova, playing the ad court. In between, she took time off and had her little baby, Nadia.
She's so versatile, disciplined, and she's like the perfect partner.
She wants to win, and she'll do whatever it takes to win. She has no ego around the strategy, who gets what shots. She goes with the flow. She got to play a couple tournaments with her twin sister Miriam this season while Gabby took some time off for her December birth of Dimitri.
Advantage Cruz Niculescu.
All right, so we have a point for a hold here.
I just think there's no one in the game, in the women's game, quite like Gabby. I mean, she just swarms. She wants the ball in pressure situations, Brad.
Deuce.
Brad, 5-2 update. Anika and Barron up 5-2 on Amy Shea.
First set.
And Anna Brazova. First set, that semifinal match.
Advantage Cruz Niculescu.
All right, so another game point. I like the way the teams are playing right now. A few errors out of Hanisch, but I can't say they're bad. Maybe one was a shaky choice. She's just missing a few balls. Saw that in the last match too. There's got to be high intensity and emotions out here. So they got to settle into that place where the nerves are settled.
Yeah, Cruz and Niculescu seemed really comfortable.
Wow, we just got a report from the Wilkinson and Grangero Max versus Lefebvre and Bredberg, and they're starting the third set, just starting. And they've been out there for over 2 hours now, and apparently Bredberg has an injured hamstring, but he's still trying to go at it. So that's crazy. Some of these matches go a long time. The winner there would play powers of Cruz.
Game, Cruz Niculescu. They lead 2-1 in the first set.
Great hold. Good plan. So talk about the strengths and weaknesses a little bit of the teams here. You know, Hanisch and Van Starrenburg, maybe a little faster overall and a little better in transition. I think all of them have good drives. I think Gabby's forehand might be the biggest weapon on the court.
I think Gabby's forehand is definitely the biggest weapon. She looks for that shot, just swarms on any short ball through the middle, and that's how they're able to capitalize. She just kind of waits, and Liz does her things, and Liz plays more of a setup. You know, she's got the setup role for their team, but I think they do amazingly well when she can get the other team off guard and throw in a couple more drives, because at some point there's going to be a short volley, and that's what Gabby just loves to pounce on.
Yeah, Liz Cruz definitely has a great backhand drive, and she has a good forehand drive too. Her backhand's the preferred shot, but she does play a setup, but she's not afraid to hit the ball or hit the ball in pressure situations by any means. There you go. So they're going to bail as soon as Gabby has that short ball. She's probably smart. These two teams play transitionally probably better than any other teams in the country.
I think you're right. They're great athletes out here. And Gabby's always moving. I mean, when she was playing all the time at the top of the game, people just didn't know where she was going to be, and she would always move. Some players are effective against her going down the line because they know she wants to move to the middle with that forehand volley.
Oh. All right.
15-0.
Few early misses from Hanisch, but I love how positive they are with each other. As long as they're staying in the plan and staying in what they want to do, they're comfortable. They know the shots are going to go. There's the huge Liz Cruz backhand.
Heavy two-handed backhand, Brad.
That was big. Van Starrenburg barely got a paddle up before it thumped her in the chest.
And Van Starrenburg was just sitting there waiting on top of the net. Liz just took it to her and put more heat on than we're used to seeing.
Right on the line. An incredible shot for
15,
two break
40.
points. Cruz and Niculescu looking great in the early going, and a couple of errors out of Hanisch Van Starrenburg. I expect there's going to be a little turnaround, ebb and flow in this one.
For sure. Every paddle match, high-level players. People don't stay, their level may dip down for a little bit, but they all seem, to find a way to always, stay competitive in the match.
Let me ask you a question, though. Do you think it would be possible for Hanisch and Van Starrenburg to, take it to Cruz and Niculescu, almost flow out or beat him handily?
No.
Do you think it would be possible for Cruz and Niculescu to beat Hanisch and Van Starrenburg handily?
Yes.
Interesting.
30-40.
So you're saying, what I was driving at is the upside of the Cruz and Niculescu is high, right? So that means they have to make sure they stay away from that upside and execute well enough.
What would be your answers to those questions, Brad?
I'm kind of in line with the same thinking. Hey, Liz Cruz is such a great anticipator. She was all over that drop.
Van Starrenburg. Oh, sorry, deuce.
It's not, it's deuce.
Yes,
it was
deuce.
right, because it was 15-40 with a couple of break points there.
I just feel like Cruz and Niculescu can just go on these streaks, and they like to play fast here. And, the pace of play will be an important thing for Van Starrenburg and Hanisch, and I just think the faster it goes, advantage Niculescu Cruz. And Brad, I saw a little bit of this in the
Cruz
quarterfinals.
Niculescu.
With a little bit of uncertainty from Annika on her serve, which then kind of eked into her overheads a little bit. And I've seen Annika go through tournaments and never miss an overhead.
Sure.
Where I've seen her miss 4 or 5, in the earlier match and just now.
Oh, wow, thumper.
Game. Cruz Niculescu. They lead 3-1 first set.
Well, certainly in the early going, the execution is certainly favoring Niculescu and Cruz.
And I'll tell you, Cruz and Niculescu, despite being the third seeds, totally come in under the radar, no pressure.
Yep.
The only pressure was what they put on themselves.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose, really. She's just got back. Played one tournament, Short Hills. Now she's right back here doing her thing.
Love 15.
And, Annika went with a longer serving motion earlier in the season and was hitting it. And Brad, as you know, the hardest thing to do is get to the finals of a
15-0.
national, to the national championship. There's so much pressure, stress, preparation that goes into this, and everything's got to come together here on these 3 days to get to the finals. And when something's a little off, you feel that pressure. Brad, your fiance and daughter are such big Battle fans that they come to Pittsburgh for these nationals. They're such good sports. I love seeing them here.
Well, they love coming. It's a great family trip. The community is just a bunch of wonderful people, and so it's great for us all.
That's Gabby Niculescu serving. That's Flor Hanisch hitting out of the 2-score.
Oh, that's so great.
Liz Cruz in white to the right of our screen. And Annika van Starrenburg with the bright green sneakers in the ad court.
40-15.
So far on the meter, 3 hard overheads, 2 winners.
Okay.
And I'm writing it down because there are certain shots and certain things people do that are difference makers in the match. Like, for instance, the match can be all even, all on balance, but if you get 6 winners with that shot, that's the difference in the match.
40-30.
I mean, we've seen that, heard you that for a couple of years, along with the Anika overhead. The 2 of them probably win more points on their overheads than anyone else in the game, all the other players in the game combined.
Yep. They just have that ability to generate that pace and full commitment to the strike.
Brad, Barron and Anika won the first set over Darz and Shea, 6-2.
Well, it's a little reminiscent of their last match. Not their last one, but their match against the 4
Cruz,
seed
Niculescu, they lead 4-1.
Brad, 4-1. Hanisch and Van Starrenburg are down. They're in a bit of trouble, and I mean, you could tell by the sound that high five made from Cruz and Niculescu there. They won that game, that point. This is early in this match, but they knew that was a critical game.
Yeah, we've seen it in the past sometimes, and even this year, Hanisch and Van Starrenburg have had some matches where they haven't quite righted the ship and lost their way in their match. And right now, I just think they're not executing well enough, but I also think they don't have a specific idea of where they're going with the ball. And Cruz and Niculescu present certain problems, like the ability for Gabby to blunt the blitzes or blitz herself is just as good or better than the ability of Hanisch and Van Starrenburg.
Love 15.
Hanisch and Van Starrenburg have had some great wins. They won Short Hills Invitational. They beat Vicky and Martina in the finals. They beat Delmonico Gebby in the semifinals. They were 3rd in Boston. They won the Midwesterns. They won Philly. They did have a 5th place finish in Long Island. They lost to Barron and Anika in the quarters. And of course, they lost this match last year, which was a final here to Gabby and Liz.
Ooh.
And last year, Brad, they did, they took out Flor and Annika decisively. I mean, it was 6-1, 6-3.
Yep.
And that's why, when you asked me the questions earlier, I think they can go through anybody. That's how good they are.
So even though we have one team that's a 3rd seed, you would call Cruz and Niculescu the favorites in this match?
I'd like their chances.
Love 30.
Another one for your charting, Brad.
4 hits, 3 winners on the hard overhead.
I think I would make sure I lob Liz Cruz more.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find a pattern of play yet. I don't know if you've seen one.
think the thing about the I formation that I see with Flor and Annika, Brad, is that I think it makes it harder to isolate and come up with a strategy. I mean, Flor is masterful and plays kind of reactive paddle up there.
15-30.
But it's not always as deliberate as you would see with a traditional formation where two players are, side to side to each other.
And if you want, she just missed that serve trying to push it in the box. You would
15-40.
hope to get almost no faults with you trying to hit a serve that way. But it's a good, what you said is actually kind of an interesting comment. You said plays reactive paddle. You would want to play reactive paddle against somebody where if your reactions are generally better than theirs and you're going to get winners. But playing reactive paddle against Cruz and Niculescu may not be the best
game,
idea.
Cruz, Niculescu. They
I totally agree.
5 games to 1.
Talk about sick volleys
Yeah,
that
that's what I
Gabby
was
and Liz
just
just came up with on Flor. Flor made a phenomenal volley, but Cruz, again, that's the second time she came up with the winner straight ahead.
Yeah, so even though they played a point that was good against 99% of the teams out there, perhaps there's a team out there that you should play a little less reactive paddle with.
I would agree. So here we are, 5-1, Cruz and Niculescu, number 3 seeds. And they are ranked, their current national ranking, Brad, I believe is around number 11 because they haven't played a lot. Or 13th, I'm not sure,
50.
somewhere along there. But because of Niculescu's pregnancy and birth of her son Dimitri, there's a clause whereby you can get 80% of the points from the year prior that you played. So that was what allowed the seeding committee to place Cruz and Niculescu as the third seeds.
Third seed. That's great information, Patty. And a great job by the APTA. I like how she hit that one deeply through Niculescu as she was backing away. Now's the time in the moment when a match is, you don't worry about winning the set, you worry about starting to play the points the way you want to play them.
It's
Get it
dirty.
to carry over.
Okay,
If you continue to do it, maybe you will come back. But at least set the tone for the second set in points that you want to play.
The next game, just switch the balls anyway. If you all agree, we go with the new ball.
I think they're taking the new ball because the other one went out in the mud. There's some huge cheers over there for the other match, the other semifinal. You can see at the top of your screen.
No, it's 15-30.
Veteran Anika up 6-2 on not Darson Shea,
Hard not to say it,
Brazova and
though.
Shea, and up 1-love second set.
Yeah, they're playing really good ball, and Nika's been dialed in this tournament. No matter how these semis work out, we're looking forward to an amazing final.
Yeah, all the women out here in the semifinals are amazing athletes, incredible rackets players.
The ball, you see, they're slowing it down now a little. Hanisch van Starrenburg.
Well, that's what I kind of expected, that they would really go into a stall and throw up a ton of lobs. But the danger of that is if they don't get those lobs away from Niculescu, they will lose the point because they've lost 6 of 7.
It's only 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, okay.
Only 5 hits, but 4 winners.
Okay.
You cannot allow that shot. I mean, it's hard to stop it if you don't hit a good lob or get your lobs up over to Cruz because she's going to find her ball.
Right. So the strategy of slowing down play is great, but the problem is you lob the ball to Gabby, and that's game on for Gabby.
Right.
It's Gabby time.
And at that point there, they did hit 5 or 6 lobs, keeping Gabby back behind her service line. She couldn't do anything except push him deep. But then, on the 8th ball, shorter, bam.
So 30 all, 2 points from the set for Cruz and Niculescu.
Wow, see, those kind of hands, that's the stuff, that's the difference maker out there. And now we have set
40-30.
point.
And again, kind of the I formation. Annika was up there, made a move, but you're playing against Cruz and Niculescu.
They're playing into their strengths. That's what I see it as.
Brad, that's a great point.
And it doesn't make sense to me at this point, And there is the first set to Cruz and Niculescu.
And first set,
Workmanlike.
Cruz, Niculescu.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
From spinning, to swinging, to throwing, you never know what's next for you. That's why at North Shore Orthopedic Institute, we're always thinking ahead of the curve. From treating the pros to weekend warriors. From minimally invasive procedures to regenerating knee cartilage, helping you wake up pain-free. At North Shore, we're not just here for you now, we're helping you be ready for what's next.
Welcome back to the 2019 APTA National Championships. We are in the women's semifinals between our number 1 seeds of Hanisch and von Starrenburg against the number 3 seeds of Cruz and Niculescu. And Patty, Cruz and Niculescu just played a great set and won it 6-1. And no answers right there for Hanisch and von Starrenburg in that set.
Yep, and the question mark was how would Gabby and Liz perform out here? They haven't played that much paddle this year. There are 2 tournaments because of
Okay,
Gabby
first
getting
game,
third, but
second set, Hanisch serving.
And they remember that they are the defending national champions, Brad. They came here to win it.
Yep. Well, there you go. Hanisch starting off, bringing out the big serve with a fault. The biggest thing that I saw in that set is I do really think, we said it before, that they were playing into the strengths of Cruz and Niculescu, trying to play all these fast points, trying to blitz. They lost every single chance. They still have no, blitz
30.
opportunities. They did not win them. No answer yet for the hard overhead from Niculescu, and they're going to have to adjust their strategy here.
Brad, the question mark that I had was the serving of Van Starrenburg and Hanisch. I mean, Van Starrenburg
Love
was
40.
struggling, and then it seemed to kind of infiltrate Floor's game.
Yep.
I was shocked. I've not seen that all season long.
So
And
Love
they're all
40.
struggling here, and Annika kind of looked like a deer in headlights on that return of serve.
Yeah, that's 2 of them actually that she looked like it. That
It was crunched to that.
Yeah, the confidence holding serve has not been there for Hanisch and van Starrenburg, because even in the last match, they won in their semifinals against Gebbia and Delmonico, but they lost serve 80% of the time. They were just doing a better job breaking. Gebbia and Delmonico did not hold serve in that match. I think also the early start was they just missed. Hanisch and van Starrenburg, they haven't even gotten their feet underneath them. It's like they got hit with a bus, and they're not making their shots. And their attempt to slow it down, they tried, and then still ended up with Gabby hitting a smash overhead, winning the point 10 balls later instead of 2 balls later. Nice lead there.
Game, Cruz Niculescu, they lead 1 to love, second set. They won the first set.
The question, Brad, was would Hanisch and Van Starrenburg make some adjustments? We see their I formation, and I think playing against 95% of the women in the game, they dominate with that formation. But I think Cruz and Niculescu are so comfortable hitting off the deck, ground strokes. They can put the ball up the line all day long, and that's what you have to do. Keep it away from floor, get it back there to Annika in the back of the court. And I think when they do hit it to floor, we talked about reactive paddle, which means they're not really, they're not focused on going and breaking down Liz or breaking down Gabby.
Right.
I don't see that plan.
I don't see any of the plan at this point in time. And I actually think what it is, too, is look, Cruz and Niculescu have won the volley exchanges or everything out there. They're not only not, they're winning them all. Why would you engage in that play with them? They're the team that can close off the net as good or better than you or win those exchanges. And now you see Ben Starrenburg just dialing up the drive even harder. I think they got to play longer, deeper points, find a way to lob the ball to Cruz time and time again.
Cruz started serving this set. I thought, did Gabby serve the first game of the match, I
Yeah,
believe?
she served the first game of the match and she got broken. And then they
30
rattled off
love.
6, 7 games in a row. All right, so 30 love.
We talk about front runners, and I think Gabby is as good a front runner in the women's game, Brad. You give her a lead, and she's never taking her foot off the gas.
And they can't quite even
40 love.
make the shots yet to get them into the points. That's just a random miss. But when it's going bad, it's going bad. That's why they got to stay out there. Got to make them play, find a way, like we said, to lob Liz Cruz.
Right, they've just got to keep it away from Gabby's overhead.
40-15.
Overplay Liz in a way here.
And I think they should go to some standard formats, some different look here. 2 players up, and if they get a shot where they think Cruz or Niculescu is going to kill it, they just bail on the net, go to the back, play a really long point, find Cruz to lob her, and then take it from there.
I totally agree. They are so out of sorts out here.
She missed 2 easy push overheads inside the service box there.
So they're in a hole here, having lost the first set 6-1, down 2-love to the defending national champions, Liz Cruz, Gabby Niculescu. It's Annika van Starrenburg serving, prayer in the bright red, and that's Floor Hanisch in all
Okay.
black in the deuce court.
See, again, why is she pushing that ball down the line? Why isn't she lobbing that ball cross court to Liz Cruz?
I totally agree, Brad. I mean, I think Floor's got the mentality to set up Annika, but Annika's struggling here. I think Floor should think about setting up Floor. I've seen Floor take over matches with her lobbing placement and kind of, play where she then moves a ton at the net, kind of, transitioning from the baseline up to the net, sort of blitzing. And I think this is time for Floor. She's going to have to do something special here.
Yeah, but the other part of it too is, you're actually even thinking deeper. I'm just saying, don't even worry about who you're setting up. Just don't let Gabby bash a ball at you after 50 ball. Don't let her put away an overhead. Make Liz Cruz hit 50. She can't actually put away the overheads, Liz Cruz. She'll hit
Right.
15
really good,
love.
solid overheads time and time again, but she's not going to do anything.
She doesn't end points with her overhead.
Right. So why would you go there where eventually, if you hit a short one, Gabby's just going to hammer it at you, and you don't have an answer for that yet. But it does seem to be the plan. Maybe they think that over time, she's going to start breaking down. I have no idea.
There's that cross-court lob from Floor.
That's what
Brad.
I want to see.
I got it. You got it. You. Come on. You. That's good. You. That's good. You got it.
Just got to score in. It's 2-all with Lepever and Fredberg against Grangero and Wilkinson.
That was
Those
out.
guys are just going into like a 3-hour,
30
3.5
love.
hour battle.
It's
Incredible.
amazing. Wilkinson and Grangero haven't had a great year together, but it's all nationals. It's totally different for everyone.
Hey, peaking nationals, that's the key. And those players know each other so well, like the ins and outs of their games. They've all been, for many, many years, they lived within basically 10 minutes of each other.
That's good.
And only recently did Bredberg move out into the San Francisco area.
Yep, so you saw that
30,
pretty
50.
weak shot that Annika had an opportunity, just kind of blew the forehand in the net there. She's really out of sorts here. She got a great two-handed backhand, a couple shots ago, but
Yeah, she's tight. She's not feeling whatever it is. Oh, that is just a huge shot.
40-15.
And what a great stab volley there from Van Starrenburg. She just dropped it right over to the sideline. Amazing hands. All right,
40-15.
get this game here. It gives them at least a foot in the door, right?
yeah, gives them a little breathing room here.
Now, have you ever seen Niculescu and Cruz take the foot off the gas
40-30.
and let the other team back in?
Nope.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because sometimes the comeback, you need the help from your partner. That's why you need to stay from the other team.
Yes.
They throw in an error, they lose. They're like, we're up. I'm going to try this shot now. And then they miss, and then they give you some life. But we don't see a lot of that at Cruz and Niculescu. They're kind of killers. Cruz is very disciplined.
Yeah. How many errors has she made in this match so far, Brad?
I haven't seen a single one.
Deuce.
You don't talk about Cruz as much.
She
but
missed one two-handed backhand.
You sure you write it down? But you don't talk about her as much, but she's always there. She makes great shots, plays the right shot all the time.
Rock solid.
She doesn't have any ego into what the strategy is going to be. Her two-handed backhand is awesome. The volley's great. Oh, there we go.
Okay, 2.
Commentators jinx. You know how it is.
Hanisch von Starrenburg.
Once again.
All right, that was big.
All right, Anik and Barron are just continuing their role. They won the first set 6-2 against Brazova and Shea, and they're up 5-love in the second set, Brad.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, so this is game point here. Add in for Van Starrenburg. And if they can get a hold, that would be incredible for them. This would be the first hold they've had in this match.
Yeah.
Oh, and there it is.
All
There's
right.
the fist pump.
Game. Hanisch von Starrenburg. Cruz and Niculescu lead in the second set. 2-1. They won the first set.
All right, that's big. Foot in the door. Now, let's see if they can keep it going. But more than that, let's see if they can get a little mojo. Let's get something working out here, or find a strategy that's going to work. So Wilkinson and Granger up 3-2 now against Lepever and Bradberg. And Bradberg with an injured hamstring, just trying to hang in there out there. It's interesting, when you get, you play an opponent who's injured, they're like a wounded animal sometimes. You don't know how to react to them. So everybody says that and thinks, oh, well, piece of cake, Granger and Wilkinson are going to win this. It's not necessarily the case.
No, and those players are so good, and Sebi is such a good competitor that even
15.
feeling a little bit injured, he knows how to play being hurt. All these top players get hurt. It's such a long grinding season. They all know how to play with injuries, actually, which maybe is a problem long term, because I like to think of paddle players as pretty tough. I know this is a hockey town, but we know a lot of tough paddle players, Brad.
Oh, gosh. I mean, just when you think there's a little crack in the
15
armor,
all.
we had a miss. And
Third
then another
overhead
miss
error
from
from-
Niculescu, but
Yeah.
that's not going to help matters right there. And she knows it. She's not trying to miss it. She's just
Right.
missing it.
Yep. She didn't really have her feet under her, just kind of an easy, maybe lacking concentration right there. It's hard to believe she could lack concentration, but
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's that. I think it's some form of nerves or tightness or something.
it's a beautiful lob up the line from Niculescu. It's Gabby with the red paddle. Liz Cruz just hit that ball. Liz is in white. Far side on to Van Starrenburg, making that get out of the ad court.
30-15.
Ball's lower than the net, though. You need every single point right now. Don't drive that. Also, there we go. You see at the top of your screen, hugs over there. That means Barrington and Nika have moved on with a great, very convincing win over Shea and Brzova. I tell you what, she looks dialed in, Roxy and Nika. They look good. And it's funny, you know, sometimes it's the best you can be. Even though they're second seed, I think more people were talking about the possibility of Curtis and Stoklosova as coming through. And then you get the story of Shea and Brzova. And meanwhile, all Anika and Barrett are doing is crushing everybody sort of under the radar.
Yep, and they are just an aggressive offensive team
40,
loaded with
15.
weapons, and when they play well, they can beat anyone. And, you know, the question will be, can they carry this over into day 3 of the national championships?
Yep, we're down at the end here.
Game. Cruz Niculescu, they lead 3-1, second set.
Well, it's going to start with just tightening up their game. They're just the loss of, like, no errors. Then it's going to be built on by playing a really good strategy. But they're running out of time for that. Oh, what a get from Gabby. And that is the third ball we've seen her absolutely crush at Ben Starrenburg. She almost hit her again.
She did. I mean, that's amazing for Annika to get that ball in play.
What a shot there from Niculescu.
Love
Laser
50.
beam forehand down the line.
Yeah, and that was the I formation again, and Gabby's just too good. She just picked her spot and went right around Annika there. And that's no easy thing with her wingspan.
They're going 2 back now. Let's see if they have a lobbing strategy. They've been lobbing Niculescu. I still don't agree with it. I'm gonna say I don't agree with it.
I'd like to see them get to the net, play in a traditional side-by-side formation, Brad,
Well,
and
that
see if
too,
they can't break down one of the players.
Right now, they're just going into a 2 back. See, what the hard overhead serves to do too, though, is make the point more reactive and fast, which is what Gabby wants.
Right. The faster it goes, advantage Cruz Niculescu.
It's kind of a little bit what we were talking about before. I don't understand why Hanisch and Ben Starrenburg want to play faster points. Ooh, and that one's out. Good spot there on
Really
the volley.
good spot.
15-0.
Unless you didn't quite get her body behind the ball there, it just got caught.
15-0.
That's going out.
15-30.
Still the great positive body language between Ben Starrenburg and Hanisch. They're so good about being supportive with each other. So are Cruz and Niculescu. This Cruz is just a great partner.
Yeah, really good spot from Hanisch there. Got
30-0.
Liz to flip her paddle over to her forehand.
That was a tough
Forced
one.
an error.
30-0.
After this, men's quarterfinal action.
Yeah, some incredible matches coming up on the men's side. We still have a round of 16 match going on. Bringing you the score, Wilkinson and Grangero against Le Pevere and Bredberg. There were some incredible matches. You just called that Bosterman-Anderson match against Erdoya and Morneau. And Bosterman and Anderson just fought their way through it and fought their way through it.
30,
Took Erdoya
40.
out of the match.
That's going to be a match over there. Cherwinski.
Yep, Javinsky McNerney
McNerney.
playing against Broderick and Palmer. And Javinsky McNerney beat them in one of the Pro Flight Paddle
Yep.
Tour events earlier this year.
Beat him in the Westchester event in the semifinals.
And they looked awesome
Game.
in the
Cruz
match against Bursch and
Niculescu, they
Stojsavljevic.
lead 4 games to
I can't
1.
say
Second
Bursch
set,
and
they won the first
Stojsavljevic
set.
played the smartest match. Ultimately, Stojsavljevic just kind of went off the rails at some points. And it's like, I'm losing a point this way, but I'm going to keep doing it, right? But Cherwinski McNerney is going to be a little different story against Broderick and Palmer.
Yeah, they're going to battle. That's going to be a 3-hour match.
Probably. I tell you, McNerney volleyed impeccably, and then he started feeling confident. He hit 2 balls. He spun them back over the net, but he didn't do it from up close. He did it from the service line. He was at the service line, letting the ball drop, hitting it undercutter, back over the net pretty confidently.
Well, in their match at Westchester, the first game took 25 minutes
Yeah.
in the match, and how deliberate and disciplined we've seen Palmer and Broderick play over the years. McNerney and Cherwinski came out of the box and even had more patience and discipline.
Well, there you see now
That's good.
4-1, and you see actually a little bit of Niculescu doing the one-up, one back with Cruz. Oh, she
Well,
missed that
we've
one.
seen that from Gabby. I mean, she loves to take over the net. There's
Love
not a shot
50.
she doesn't want to hit, Brad.
Come on, Gabby. Yes.
And Gabby's confidence can come and go. But she can just deliver, and when she is strong, she really has no fear and just loves to challenge her opponents.
A little cross-court rally here.
Got it.
There's that big backhand from Cruz, and she goes over to cut it off, but just a
15-0.
little late.
Yet I think she changed her mind. I don't know if she was going to look to hit a drop shot and then changed her mind, Brad. Not sure.
Actually, I think she was going stuff volley all the way, but either way, it's another point there for Cruz Niculescu. Great shot. What I'm seeing right now is everything that Hanisch and Van Starrenburg are doing, Cruz and Niculescu are doing better.
That's good.
There's nothing that seems to be phasing them. I mean, they're just playing a rock-solid match.
That's huge. At this point,
30-50.
taking that one time off the deck again, it is something they do all the time, but why wouldn't you let it go to the screen, hit a high lob? Again, slow the tempo down. More balls, not more mistakes.
Game. Cruz Niculescu. 45. Sorry.
A little premature there. They're like, hey, no, we have more chances at this.
That's right.
All right, so we just got the report. Wilkinson and Granjero move on to face Powers Hughes. They win 6-2 in the third.
Wow.
So great job for them. That was a 3-hour war. I wonder if he'll be able to continue. So now it's game for Cruz and Niculescu.
They lead 5 games to 1. It's actually a
Fred, it looks like I answered your question correctly when you asked me earlier.
Well, that's exactly what I was driving at with the question. That's how I look at it too, that those guys have the capacity to blow them out, but not necessarily the other way around. What the high level is over there. And I just think also, look, Hanisch and Starrenburg are not playing well. Cruz and Niculescu are doing, making them not play well too, but they're just not playing well from the get-go. They weren't. And when they aren't, firing at all their cylinders completely, they don't have an answer. I feel like Cruz and Niculescu could be a little off and still come away.
Got it.
And like we were talking about, there's the hard one. Nice shot. But defending it better now.
Love 15.
So at this point, with our tracking of the hard overhead, she's hit 8 of them, won the point outright with 4, but on the others, she won the point 3 more times. So when she's hit it, it's 7 out of 8. Only 4 of them is outright winners, but that's just an amazing statistic. That's great. Nice shot.
15-0.
Back. Here they come. Just backhand there from Starrenburg. I like that low overhead. I'd like to see more of that. Fail. There's the hard overhead. And 9.
15-30.
8 out of 9 points. That wasn't a winner outright, but 8 out of 9 points won. Actually, we're going to count that one in that. She didn't miss the next ball. Oh, yeah, you. No, it's not. Sorry.
30-0.
Good spot. Gabby didn't want to move over to the middle and close that off a little bit.
Don't really think it was Cruz's. I do think it was Niculescu's.
Yeah.
I think a little wishful thinking there. See, here she comes, but this one up, one back has won them basically no points.
40-30.
All right. Not done yet, though. 40-30. And would this be for the first hold? No, it's, I mean, you got to hold serve. It's tough.
Yep.
That's a great shot. Oh, wow. Great touch on that lob. Oh, out. Way to go. All right.
Game. Hanisch von Starrenburg.
Playing
Cruz
another game.
Niculescu are leading 5-2. Second set, they won the first set.
Brad, we have a little visit in the booth here. Not a little visit, but we have one of the Friday brothers who's a junior national champion. The Friday brothers won the 12 and unders last year, went up into the 15 and unders this year, put up a great fight, semifinal loss. They went out to Brendan McDonald and Peter Cornforth. These guys battled. It's tough when you go, as you know, from that 12s to 15s.
Sure.
But I expect to see the Fridays back in the finals next year in the U15s. I'm making the pick right now.
Making them as the finals pick for, or the winners for next year.
They're in the finals for sure.
Well, Mr. Friday, that's a quite. If she's making the pick early, that's a lot of confidence in you, so good luck next year. Oh, great little undercut. She's working out some new shots here. And it would be great if they could find a way to put some pressure on Cruz and Niculescu. We all know closing out a match is the toughest thing you can do. And if the team feels pressure to close it out, well, oh, that's a few confusions now for Cruz and Niculescu as we get in here. Maybe there's a little opening to be had.
Yeah, Annika and Flora just had such a tough match here. And sometimes as you near the end of the match, you know, it's kind of hard. And you realize you have nothing to lose, and sometimes it frees you up a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. Look, there is nothing to lose at this point for von Starrenburg and, Hanisch. So they can go down. In fact, I'm seeing Hanisch actually kind of almost pick up her energy levels. She's hitting hard cut overheads, working the tempo. And
Brad,
she's playing with like
yeah.
renewed enthusiasm almost after they got that hold.
Well, that's what I said, early in the second set. I thought Flora had to kind of take
over. Yeah.
And I think she's
trying that right now.
She's doing it, and I've seen her. She's capable of doing it. But again, they just hit the balls back. They don't really break anyone down.
Oh, careful there.
Uh-oh.
There's the hard overhead.
Good hands from Monica.
Yep. Good overhead there.
Really good deep lob from Niculescu.
This is a great point.
Yeah.
Now, this is the kind of points I think we expected to see more of. Too bad there, but that's a great point.
All.
Really good move in from Floor.
15-30.
Turner served low and followed it in. Put a little pressure on Gabby, looking up on that first volley.
You see her hitting hard cut overheads now, totally changing the way she's playing, trying to dominate, as you said.
Look at that shot from Cruz.
One
Down the
thing I will
line.
say, yeah, it was a great shot. At least it's different. This is great.
Advantage Gabby right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's the hard one. Nice. Well, I tell you, that was a great point by, Hanisch von Starrenburg. But again, it's like Niculescu, Cruz have all the answers.
Yep, and the answer to the I formation is hitting down the line, and Cruz has been all over it all day, as have, Gabby has been all over it. 30 off, 5-2. Cruz and Niculescu won the first, 6-1.
Now, why, Patty, is that the answer to the one up, one back? School me.
Down the line.
All right, well, here we are at match point
Well,
now, so we got to wait for this one.
You just got to go down the line, hit away from Flora, who's trying to hit, take over the net. And her quickness lets her do it against 95% of the players in the game, but not with the athletic ability of Cruz and Niculescu.
Yeah, and also you just can't get it around her that well if you try to go cross court. So the only spot that the angles work out for her. Ooh, seamer. Great job from Niculescu.
Yep.
Great cutter.
Good cutter from Flora.
I tell you, she's working out some huge shots. That was was it a pressure ball? Because at this point in time, there's no pressure. Anything goes. She misses it, they lose, but they're in a tough situation anyway. So she's in a no-lose situation. Match is either going up from here or it's done. And what I love about this is because it's not like they were close before. So this is just a totally different thing. Let's see what happens. You can see Floor going to work, Florentina Hanisch. He's hit 90% of the last 4 points balls. That's a great drop. Oh!
Great
Liz
anticipation
Cruz.
from Cruz.
What's great about Hanisch is she's
Cruz,
smiling.
Niculescu.
I love the attitude and the enthusiasm. That's awesome.
She knows she had a great shot. She just knew Liz read it.
All right, here we go. Match point number 2. That's a good ball. And there it is, game, set, and match.
Game,
Incredible
set,
playing
and
from
match.
Cruz and Niculescu.
Cruz, Niculescu.
Really high level,
6-1,
Brad, and it sets up
6-2.
for an amazing women's final tomorrow between Anika and Barron, the number 2 seeds, and the number 3 seeds, Cruz and Niculescu, who take out the number 1 seeds, Hanisch and Starrenburg.
Patty, it was a real pleasure calling this with you. We're going to be back in a moment with some men's quarterfinal matches, some incredible matches. We have Compton and Kaler, our 6th seed against the Rose brothers, our 4th seed. Chicago, Broderick Palmer, Travinsky McNerney are going on right now. And then there's going to be Anderson and Bostrom against Araya Parsons and Hughes Powers against Wilkinson and Granjero. So that's going to be coming up. And
Stay
we'll see
tuned.
you guys. Stay tuned. Be right back after this break here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.